Hi there, my name's Andrew. I write music. I'm a composer. I write for production music libraries, and also I'm doing some work for short films and some videos at the moment, video games at the moment. Today I'm going to do something. It's the first time I've decided to do this. Quite why, I don't know. I'm going to do some live composing on here. I'm going to set myself a timer up here for 30 minutes and basically see what happens. And I'm a little bit scared because this feels like, I don't know, putting a dirty washing out in public, which is a little bit weird. The time is an important thing for me. I work with this all the time. I'm a great believer in what's called the Pomodoro. I think Pomodoro idea or technique or philosophy of working in short time stretches. Anyway, let's go for 30 minutes. Here we go, and see what we can do. So we need. Let's see what we have an instrument. Diva's coming up first, so let's use Diva. Let me just make sure that is, yeah, on recording, so should be able to hear that okay, I think. Right, let me get my second window organised. That's not working, that's not what I want. All right, there we go. So let's pick a sound. I'm going to want a sort of bass sound. Let's go into Ex Machina. I really like. Let's start off. This is quite cool. This one's quite cool. Let's go. I think that's tempo synced as well. Let's check. Okay, I like that. That's quite cool. Let's just quantize that. Okay. Okay, let's have a bit of spiccato strings or something to go with that. So let's go to contact and find something. So I've got loads of string libraries, so I would automatically sort of go for cinematic studio strings, which I always find really hard to say, particularly cinematic studio solo strings. It's an absolute gobbledygook mouthful. But I'm not going to use that. I find myself avoiding those fairly, let's say, generic string sounds. They're not generic string sounds, but because it's really good. CSSS is really, really good. But I do find myself going for stuff that's a bit more characterful, if possible. Let's try this one. So this is restrung. Let's try this. Okay, I don't know. Okay, the great thing about Cubase is that you can do MIDI retrospective record. Woohoo! There we go, because I didn't actually record that. So many times I don't do that. I don't like the top octave. I got down to quite a nice velocity somewhere here, didn't I? Let's. Oh, what's great about this is that the round robins are really cool. Are they all the same? I don't know. There's a bit of variety in there, though, I think, isn't there? Which just gives it a bit of a sense of character. Let's stick those together for a minute. Okay. A bit of tune. I'm thinking piano. And again, I've got a really, really, really lovely piano. So Noir is really, really lovely. I particularly like the grand piano emotional. It's got a really nice bass on it. I wonder if you want some bass in there. So that maybe. Maybe. I don't know whether I want the doo-doo thingy. Quite like the bass sound on that though, is nice. Again, let's quantize that. And quantize those. Are those semiquavers? Yeah, so that should work. Right, so what we've got? We've got diva bass, haven't we, basically? Let's keep tabs on things. Diva bass, diva bass. We've got this cello spiccato going on there, and then we've got this is basically piano 2, so this is like the bottom piano part. Let's try a top piano part. Let's avoid the so totally obvious, and let's just go for hybrid keys. There's some quite cool piano sounds in here. Acoustic, that one again. No, maybe. No, that's way too sort of oriental sounding. Chemtrails, that's quite crazy. Let's try that. Too horror. Cinema. Oh, let's try that. Let's make that a bit more interesting by putting a. Let's put a delay on there. Let's go ping pong. And just turn down the amount a bit. And I'm thinking we also need a bit of reverb on there. I'm going to go with a dirty reverb. This one here. Quick and dirty. My quick dirty reverb is called, well, I can't find it now because I'm under pressure. This is Oral River or something. There we go, Oral River. One size fits all. Something like that. Okay, maybe that. Oh, MIDI retrospective record again. My piano playing is shockingly appalling, even doing very simple octaves like that. And also, you'll see that this needs quantizing quite considerably. It's probably worth noting I'm on a relatively low spec computer, PC. I've got 32 mega gigs of RAM in it, which is fine, but it's fairly basic CPU. It's an i5 4 or 8 thread. I don't know, but it's a bit slow. And I wonder, I guess a delay every single time. This latency. Now I know this is a thing, but I do spend a lot of time, and I get so used to it. I'm realizing now, sort of, with somebody watching, as it were, that I'm spending time correcting all the time, and actually with a faster PC this might actually not happen. I don't know. That needs to be on the here, doesn't it? Okay. I was off the beat. I think would be good. Quite like that. Lovely piano playing. It's virtuoso. Okay, right. So now I'm starting to think in terms of structure. So we need an intro, don't we? That's obviously the tune. Let's start off at the beginning. So I think this is turning out quite naturally to be a like a little production music tension cue. So I'm now starting to think in terms of introductions, different sections, some sort of breakdown after this. And not me, I might have one, but we'll see. And I'm also thinking in terms of length. I'm wanting to do something like 2 minutes, and I think it's a really great idea. I never even thought about the tempo. It's just at 120. Really, really good idea. I tend to aim for about 2 minutes or so for a production music track. Is about right. Anywhere from 1 minute 30 to 2 minute 30. I always think 1 minute 30 is shortchanging just a little bit. And if we're going to go for this as an intro, it will be helpful if this has a little cut here. So I'm now starting to think in terms of how this might be cut to a film or cut to some visuals, and it might be that there needs to be a starting point, a clean starting point for the editor, to make it really easy to sort of fit it in and to chop it. So rather than it being a continual sound, there are places where there isn't any sound, there is silence where the editor can cut and chop. Hello dog. Dog wants to go for a walk. She's going to have to wait. So let's do that. Let's get rid of that last one there. So that's going to be our little intro. And then we've got our tune starting here, haven't we? So now we've got an intro. So actually what an editor could do, it would be possible to cut and loop this. And this could go, just play round for as long as need be. That's really, really easy, many, many times. When it's time to move on, you use a different segment. Shall we have this piano pedal note in the opening? Yeah. Okay. Tune. Okay, now I didn't really know why I'd done these little twiddly bits here, but I can now hear they're helping me to a certain extent, because we need, when we come to the second time of the tune, we need a bit of variety. So I'm going to put a second sort of piano part in here. Let's use that piano though. That's the high piano part, isn't it? Let's call that piano 1. Let's call that piano 3, in fact, because I'm going to write a middle piano part here. Let's duplicate that because I want to use that piano sound. So you'll notice that I'm spending a lot of time. I'm loading instruments up here, and I don't have a template. I'm thinking that actually, while I'm doing this, it takes an awful lot of time. I spend 4 or 5 hours a day composing. How long do I spend loading instruments up? I don't know. Maybe the template is the thing. I've always been a bit anti-template. I think probably because, as I said, this is a low-spec computer, and I actually started out originally on Cubase Elements. This is Cubase Pro now, but Cubase Elements, you can only have 16 or 24 tracks or something. So to make anything that resembles anything of a decent template, it's a nightmare. You have to take each of the contact out channels and create separate audio channels for them or something. I did do it and it said, oh, it's a nightmare. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. So I think that really put me off using a template. I also think if I used a template, it sort of stops you. Well, my sense is that I would use the same instruments over and over again, and I don't particularly want to do that. However, there would be times it would be really time saving. And it's just made me think of that, sitting here watching these loading up on video or on camera. Anyway, I was going to try and make this a bit more interesting here with this second piano part. I was going to do that, I think. Good pedal. Fairly unoriginal, but it'll do the trick. Okay. MIDI retrospective record. I find it quite stressful pressing the record button, I think. I tend to do most things on MIDI retrospective record. Less pressure. Okay, so we've got like a little running. And I'm thinking that at that point there we'll have a breakdown. I'll have a breakdown, we'll have a breakdown. Oh no, we got 2 minutes. Let's have a look at the structure wise. I don't think we need all that intro. Do we need? That's all we need as an intro, isn't it? We don't need the full Monty, as it were, I don't think. So we go for the 4 bars of that, I think. So let's just delete that. And let's just get rid of that time there, range, cuts, cut time. Yeah, okay. So that's going to be better. Right, I'm thinking in terms of overall structure now. So this is my sort of basic unit of time, isn't it? 8 bars there. How many of those do we need to get up to 2 minutes? Oh look, we're getting there. So we've got a breakdown here. We've got our intro, we've got our theme twice, we've got a little breakdown. We're probably going to have our theme at the end again once or twice. So I can sort of see how this is going to structure already to a certain extent, though I'm clueless as to what's going to go in the middle, and I want to avoid doing the absolute obvious if I can do. Okay, do we need to add anything else in for the moment? Let's have a listen. Okay, what about bom, 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 bom? I'm thinking of a little synth thing to go in there. Something that I made in Vital, called Vital Plucking or something or other. Pluck Lighter. Is it Pluck? Yes, I think it's that one. No, my Pluck Rush. Nothing coming out there. Bit too heavy. Let's try. Quite like that. What should we have? Okay. Why do I do the... Why? Retrospective video record. I don't know. That's okay. It's not the most original thing in the world, is it? It serves its purpose, though. I'm thinking we need a downer. Ooh. And then back up to whatever comes next. Let's just save. And let's make a audio track. And we'll go for a little ordinary little downer from Project Alpha. I do quite like some of their stuff, so it's quite dated now, I think. It's amazing. There's so much in here, though. So much of it's still usable. Downer. Where are we? Audio one there. That's going to be too loud, I can tell you now. Let's just take it down a bit there. The dog is scratching next to me down here. She's... Time's it. It's nearly 4 o'clock. She's desperate to go for a walk. Let's just squidge this down a little bit. Okay, and then we come up here. So I'm thinking we're going to go bam, 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 down, and then a riser, and we're into something else. Did I just move those along? Move that along, move you along, move you along. Right. I'm also thinking that it needs some higher strings as well. At the moment, my main aim, and I'm not going to do that in the 9 minutes that remain quite, is to get an overall structure. I would quite like to. I generally work in 50-minute segments, and actually for something relatively simple like this, I could, I suppose, get a sort of an outline of where we're going in 50 minutes. So I think to have the overall structure is great. It's tempting to sort of start tweaking on here and adding bits of swooshes and bits and pieces and things, but I think then you lose sight of the wood for the trees, if that makes sense. I think having an overarching view is really important. Having said that, I'm going to contradict myself, and that's the downer, isn't it? Let's just put that as FX. Actually, no, let's have it as a downer. And I'm feeling the need to add a bit of sort of scratchy viola to this for some reason. So let's go back to Contact. And restrung, and let's go viola. Now, why viola? Often find violin a bit too scrapey. I'm thinking in terms of bands of EQ at the moment. So I'm thinking we've got the low piano, we've got the sort of mid piano, we've got the low cello, we've got the piano high tune, but we don't have anything sort of spiky in the middle. So maybe that's why I'm thinking that might... Which one was it? That one. So amazingly scratchy, I love it. So I need a bit of reverb on it. I think it'll do for the moment. What do you want to do though? I don't know. So beautifully scratchy. What about just a... Does it have a conlegno? No. Well, we've got... not sure. Okay, I'm not finding anything I want on there. There's going to be some viola in it at some point, I think, but I'm not quite sure how. I'm getting bogged down in detail. I can see that now. I need to go on. So I need to work out what comes next, basically. We've got this little drop down. So what I don't want to do is to go back to the C sound. I could do. So I'm thinking of a sort of contrasting sort of harmonic section. The really obvious thing to do is I'm going A flat F. Let's change the. Could do it here. Boom, 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 boom. Can we think of anything else? So I can hear that it starts somewhere slightly different, and it leads to the dominant, and it leads us back to the tonic, which in this case is originally C major, because that's all I can play in. Particularly here when I'm on video. I wanted to try and think of something different other than going A flat, F, C. So we got this. And then we've got the breakdown, which is all in C. So going F, D minor, G, let's try that. Let's try, so F, D, C. Let's just see how that sort of goes. I think not. Ha! That's way too long. However, I did that twice tonight. That's one solution, isn't it? Oh, I don't like that. That is absolutely shockingly bad. Let's go simple. Let's go for the A flat F G idea. So here we go. Let's try that. I'm going to actually hit record this time. Now, whether that is going to repeat or not, I don't know. What's going to go with it is the question, isn't it? Let's go back and have a think. not sure. I don't think that works quite. Running out of time with 37 seconds left. It needs some sort of contrast there. That would work. I could do something with it, but it's just so cliched, or it will be so cliched. I want to try and think of something original, something a bit more original, something a bit different and slightly surprising. I'm going to delete that. I'm starting harmonically. Maybe not to start harmonically might be the thing. And to think... Okay, we're out of time. So I'm thinking harmonically, because obviously it's got to go harmonically to a slightly different place. The harmony's not leading me in the right direction. Maybe I need to do it melodically or something. Maybe it needs to be rhythmic is the other possibility. So maybe putting some percussion in this first bit and continuing that along might work. Don't know. What I normally find at the end of like my first session is that I sort of get to a place where I'm a little bit stuck like this, and I would just leave it at that point and move on. And generally speaking, when I come to it with a fresh pair of ears, next time I come up with something fairly quickly and easily and can continue. My goal is to get an outline, a skeleton outline from beginning to end, so we've got a whole piece and then we can start fleshing it out, and you can see I'm doing that now. Well, that wasn't too bad. 30 minutes, first time I've done that. It was pretty scary and quite stressful. As I say, it's a bit like composing porn, isn't it? It's like watching other people and how they do it. It's a bit weird but totally fascinating. I remember starting watching years ago that really got me back into music after a couple of decades of not doing music at all was watching Daniel James writing and being utterly blown away by what he was doing. And this is not quite in the same league, but I think there's something really, really interesting about watching other people's process, and it's, you know, you inevitably learn something about your own process, and I think in doing this you inevitably I'm learning about my process and why I do things I'm doing and trying to justify why I do things, which is quite an interesting exercise. I think I will do another video and continue this on. I'll do another half hour on it and see how I go. Thank you so much for watching, and maybe see you in the next one.